Thank you so much for staying tuned. If you just joined us, this is TMI. Joining us right now is a serious legal practitioner, political affairs commentator, barrister Greg Odaze. Welcome to TMI. I appreciate you joining us.
Thank you for your invitation.
All right.
Good morning, my viewers at home.
We still have our barrister Robinson Imada and, of course, Honorable Destiny and Nabulene. Over there in the US, we still have Ahmed Mamodu. They are all here to be sharing their thoughts and opinion on this particular discussion. You're going to take the first shot, Barrister Greg. Hashtag end bad governance protest, the aftermath, and of course the bail bond placed on minors, 10 million naira bail bond. People are like talking about this. Some are like so angry with the decision. I mean, what can you make out of this? These are teenagers that have been in detention for over 60 days.
Yes, apart from people talking about you, even you, your humble self, you have also made every weather loud on the issue of the 10 million bail bond. And there's really much to it, legally speaking. So a number of persons wouldn't know the rationale behind the decisions. And this morning we are going to look at some of the reasons that people don't know the reason, they are just shouting. At the end, you will not kind of judge by yourself whether it was right or wrong.
That is why you are here.
That is it. I said at the end of my
explanation
and exposition.
Okay, go ahead.
Of the legal issues.
All right, take it up from there.
Yes. Yeah. Ordinarily, we say minor and young persons and children by law, if they committed an offense, they would have been taken after investigations. There's a court set up, established for young persons, which is juvenile court. And the law affected, the primary law is the young person and children and young person act, but now being domesticated by various states of the federation. Hence, you will now be referred to children and young persons what law of each state of the federation, but the act is applicable to the whole federation. But when they receive and domesticated, it becomes particular about the state. So the issue is this: a child who committed an offense by that law would be taken or arraigned in a juvenile court, and the procedures, practice and procedures in that court is special. It's different from the regular court. In this case, there is an exception to every law. There is what? An exception. There are circumstances where a child will not be arraigned in a juvenile court. For example, if a child, two circumstances, if a child commits a capital offense, very serious offense that attracts death penalty, the juvenile court will not have a jurisdiction to entertain and hear the child case. So the matter will be what? The matter will be taken to the regular court, meaning that the child is going to face, I don't know if you are getting my point.
But in this context
in this context too.
Yes.
When a child is also what? Charged alongside with what? Adults. He will no longer enjoy juvenile court will not have jurisdiction. That is to say, what is supposed to enjoy in a juvenile jurisdiction, it will be denied to a very large extent. So that is what is going on that a lot of persons don't really know. Yes, when you talk of bail, what is bail? It's temporary. When you talk of bail, it's to secure the appearance of the, it's a liberty. To secure the appearance of the whole essence of bail is to ensure that the defendant appears in court, appears anywhere, at any time. So, again, bail is subject to some tense and what condition. The judge has a discretion. And in most cases, the nature of the charge before the court, as we speak, is a grievous, it's a very serious, that by the nature of the, that is the charge before the court, felony.
For a 15-year-old, 12 years old.
That is not what the law is saying. The law does not say that a child cannot commit the highest offense, which is capital offense. That is
all right.
These are matter, these are matter for trial. The age is not an issue.
Okay, I will come back.
It's not, some children are very dangerous nowadays.
I'll come back to you.
That is the truth.
Barrister Greg, I will come back to you.
I'm here, we see.
Barrister Robinson.
Yes, please.
You heard his submission. He said, look,
yes,
this is a grievous matter. It's a case, and that is what justice or judge Egwatu really stuck to, talking about the law. Take it up from there.
Well, Egwatu did what she was supposed to do, and I have no quarrel with that. But the whole exercise is a shame. The whole exercise tells us that we are not ready yet in Nigeria. I am shocked to the marrows of my bone that Bola Ahmed Tinubu will even arrest anybody during a protest. Because he epitomized protest during the Jonathan administration. Bola Ahmed Tinubu led the Occupy Nigeria along with
Wole Soyinka and the rest.
Wole Soyinka and very
Tunde
tough
Bakare.
Tunde Bakare, and even Buhari,
Yes.
the occupied Ojota. They said all manner of unprintable things. If at that time they were not charged for felony, in spite of all that they said and proclaimed, and all that they did, I would have thought that Bola Ahmed Tinubu will, during protests, come out to give food and drinks to people protesting against him. But today, we see that the whole world is seeing Nigeria as, if you like, a theater of unserious people. You are charging minors for felony. You are charging minors. You are afraid that minors want to topple your administration. They want to bring in, what's the country, to take over your administration.
Russia.
Have you bothered to look at the profile, to profile the minors? When Jonathan saw the dangers, he said, in some young people who are left in the streets, they call them amajiris. He spent 15 billion naira of Nigerian money to build schools for these people, to change their psyche, to change their orientation, to make them more human than they were. And at the end of the day, when Buhari came on board, he rubbished that effort. Apart from Kanu and Kebbi states, no other state in the country followed up their Majiri schools as started by Jonathan. And today, of all the number of states, about 6 or 7 from the north that have those children arrested, it's only Kanu that has given, Kanu governor has given a marching order to the Attorney General and say, look, go there and do something about the Kanu indigenes there. It's laughable that Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration will round up young people from the streets who were protesting against bad governance, as if there's really no bad governance, who were hungry, and put them in detention, starve them to the extent that you begin to, if you saw their photographs or watch them on screen,
They are skinny, unkempt, hungry.
you see human skeletons breathing. And when 4 of them fainted, the police said it was faked. It is sad because the evil we fail to correct today will haunt us tomorrow.
All right.
I'm very sure that if the Amajiri schools were sustained by Buhari and Tinubu, how come that of all of them, over 95, 96, 97% of the people arrested are from the north?
From the north. Okay. You just hold on. Well, Destiny, you have just 1 minute before we go on the breakdown. We'll come back now. What do you have to say about
from
this?
the last speaker, let me quickly say this.
Yes.
You know, a man that commits havoc with cutlass, when you see a man with cutlass standing beside him, he's afraid. Tinubu,
right.
President Tinubu is a man known for protest.
Okay, you
And
just
today,
hold on. You just hold on, Destiny. We need to go for this break. We need to go. When we return, you continue with your line of thought, okay? We'll be right back after this break.
TMI, every opinion counts.
All right, thank you so much for staying tuned. If you just joined us, this is TMI. We're taking a look at the aftermath of our side and about governors' protest, a 10 million naira bail bond on teenagers. Honorable Destiny, you're making a point before her to go.
Yeah.
Please continue.
Yeah, Winston, let me again appreciate you. You see, I have to start my line of thought from my comrade lawyer here. You know, I said something. I said a man that commits havoc with cutlass usually is not comfortable when he sees a man standing by himself with a cutlass. For us, Tinubu, a man that we all know.
The President Bola Ahmed.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a product of protest. For me, when I saw that shenanigan, that shame of shame, I was pained to my bone marrow. It is assault, and it has no human face. Let me quickly address. I had a reservation from what my friend
Barrister
Greg said. You see, whether you like it or not, in the Child Rights Act, a child under 6, they commit, you cannot prosecute that child under the age of 6. Because it is not, there's a word, but it is not legal, it's not liable. But a child under 12, if he commits, it is subject to the judge, whether it is responsible until proven beyond reasonable doubt. For us, the Nigerian Constitution sees minors from the age 18 downward. For a country that is fighting to find itself in the Human Rights Index, to have portrayed this show of shame, is to tell you the level of decadence in our society. He said something that the judge has no blame. He's a lawyer. There's what they call the golden rule interpretation, if I'm not mistaken. That they use absurdity twice. He's a judge. And you see this juvenile, these children, you can tell. If all sitting down here, we are fathers. If you see children, you'll be able to identify that, man, these are children. As a judge, when you see that, the appearance of these children will not portray our nation, or rather will portray our nation in a bad light. What you have done, it will evoke the golden rule interpretation, which is under our purview. For me, the judge, the prosecutor, or the Nigerian police force, even the federal government lawyer, you saw him. I saw one of the videos when he said that they are married men, that they are not children. Even some of his colleagues
were laughing.
They were laughing.
All right.
And again, you see the contradiction. Even the police PRO, in the course, trying to let us know that yes, there are some under the age 13. Who will now believe having two federal government representatives making foolery of themselves?
Anyway,
it is quite sad and disheartening.
You wouldn't say they are making fool of themselves, but they are saying that they are sticking to their own interpretation.
No, a federal government council.
That is their
telling the world
of the law.
No, telling the world.
So you wouldn't say they
that they are not children, and the police who ordinarily presented those children before the law court, the PRO not saying that they are under 13, that they can be presented in the law court.
All right. Because when I saw that clip of the lawyer saying that they are all
married, they are all graduates.
I was like, maybe that lawyer wasn't informed.
Graduates.
That's what he said.
Hold on. Now, let's get straight down to the US where Ahmed is waiting by. I'll come to you, but I know you want to explain.
Yes, you want to.
Calm down. Well, Ahmed, I believe you have a first-hand information about this situation. What do you feel about all this?
So, to put some perspective on the issue, these so-called people that have been arrested, these underage people, were supposedly protesting bad governance, and they were arrested in the act of looting and vandalization and presenting flags of foreign countries asking for their intervention, etc., etc. So I think what has happened is the police were within their purview if they arrested them in the act that they claim they to have been arrested, and the proper place to thrash all these issues out will be in the court of law. Now, there is some controversy concerning their age. If it is possible to determine that these are actually children, then certainly I don't think a regular court is where they should be charged to, and those issues should not be dealt with in a regular court. I'm not a lawyer and I cannot speak to those facts. But here's my suspicion. I suspect that the actual people who were committing these crimes were at some point in time replaced with these underage people with the hope that the court will identify them as underage and automatically set them free. Because the sheer number of those suspects looking like mere children is incredible that they were even kept in confinement for this period of time until this point. So that is my own sneaking suspicion. I don't wish to cast aspersions on the Nigerian police, but I mean, that those children were held in captivity for this period is sad, is shocking, and I hope that somebody is able to get to the root of this matter, because it doesn't look good. The optics are not very good. Going to the antecedents of the president himself in a protest prior to this. Now, the office of the president is entirely different from a private individual. What he does in his spare time as a private individual, we cannot question, but we need to put some of these things into perspective. As the president of the Federal Republic, he needs to uphold law and order, but some light needs to be shed on the true age of these people that they claim committed these acts.
All right, thank you so much. Ahmed, I would just wonder if my PD can just help us with the report. If he has it, fine. If he doesn't have it, we understand. So can really ascertain if these guys are really teenagers? Because what I saw online, they are malnourished children, not up to 18 years of age. You want to explain?
Yes.
Go ahead, Barrister Greg.
Yes, which you see, the fact, like, I want to quickly correct what Mr. N10million have said as to the age that 6 years, legally speaking, a 7 years old is not criminally responsible for any criminal omission or commission. In other words, 7 years old has legal immunity for all offenses. Yeah. But above to 12, you have to test the rationality, the knowledge, if the child knows what is right or the truth, or knows what he's doing, you have to carry out that experiment. Or so that you can also see if he is liable or not. The reasonability of the child, the psychology of this child, all will come into what? To below that, 14, 17, not up to 18, they can be what? The law recognizes that these children can commit an offense. That was the reason why they established a juvenile court. And the procedure in juvenile court ordinarily is very relaxed. There are things that proceedings in the regular court, that, for example, is not done in the in the public as in the normal regular court, where there's access by the public. The constitution recognizes that right for the children. And so also in sentencing or conviction, the child usually is usually rehabilitation because it's still a child. And in most cases, imprisonment by that law.
But hold on, Barrister. This,
this thing, I'm going somewhere. Look at what led to
10 million.
Yes, let me educate you. What led to 10 million?
Yes.
You see, there's problem somewhere. let me educate you. You see the charge, the investigation that was done. That's why we have to be very careful. We have to avoid our children. At that time, at the level of bail, you are not looking at the substance of the case. It doesn't matter for trial. The issue was what is the charge before my Lord, before the court. It's a serious allegation, which ordinarily any person facing such offenses, being arraigned for such offenses, is not even entitled. Bail in such circumstances is very difficult, except in exceptional circumstances. For example, he ate.
Are you justifying the 10 million naira bond, bail bond?
See, because the court were looking at the charge.
What if they don't have that Amadejot language
They are
in
not,
jail?
they are not paying the money. That's what you don't also know.
They are not paying.
It's the security. It's the security that these people, they are ready to stand their trial. Because the judge will not be looking at whether it was not protests that were fined, that they were arrested because they protested. You see the charge that these people, they are plotting to overthrow you see, treason, mutiny, and a whole lot. Okay. You see, that was the reason. It was the investigation that showed all this. And my Lord, at that time, whether they are entitled to bail or not, looking at the circumstances, usually an offense of that nature is very difficult. Okay. But my Lord, in his wisdom, exercise discretion, and they are not paying the 1 million. The only maybe civil servant level 15 or thereabout. Sometimes you can apply for variation. So the reason is that even we are just praying with that, they can allege. They will just prepare a charge, even you that are innocent. These are what we have been fighting, the legal battle we have been doing. The charge will come. We are always at the defense. We are always for the people. You will see they will bring charge.
All right, thank you.
And at that moment, the judge will not go into the substance of whether it was bailable or what, not a bailable offense. Whether the defendant will join bail or not. The nature of the charge, the severity of the punishment.
For 12 years old treason. Thank you, Barrister. That may be your last line on this because our time is up. Well, Barrister Robinson, in 1 minute, please, what should have been the right thing to do?
I'm sure that the federal government under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu knows that those guys are no felons. They know that they were not planning to overthrow his government. I'm sure they also know that they flouted those flags without knowing the implication. The failure of government manifested in the action of the young ones. And what I recommend is that all those people and their likes in the streets should be put together and sent to school.
Okay.
The truth of the matter is that, like I said earlier, is the failure to go on with the imaginary school that has led to this.
Thank you.
Bola Ahmed Tinubu should know that even this and 10 times of this will not stop protests.
Thank you so much, Mr. Robinson. Honorable, quickly.
Well, listen again, I want to appeal to Nigerians. Those children that were charged to court, they were protesting for hunger and for us. Because at that point in time, many of us perhaps were engaged in some other things. And we should not allow this to thrive in this country. I can still remember very vividly, some Nigerians, even from Edo State, they protested in Ghana.
Thank you.
They had Nigerian flags, and they were not charged with treason.
Thank you. Thank you.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu should have a rethink and do the needful.
Thank you so much, Honorable. Well, Ahmed, 30 seconds, please. What's your own advice to the presidents and people involved in this?
So my advice would be that the proceedings should be as transparent as possible. The ages of these suspects should be determined, because he's creating a lot of bad blood and bad feelings among the citizenry. The level of communication is very poor, and it's not just the lawyer that came out to address. We need people that can come out from either their localities and tell us exactly who these people are before they even proceed with their investigations and criminal trial, or whatever the case may be. And it should be handled properly and clearly.
Thank you so much, Ahmed. Well, I know Barry said there's no time. There's no time. You made your point that the judge isn't at fault.
I want to round up my...
Okay,
so,
50 seconds.
So the issue is if at the end of the day, these people were subjected to rigorous criminal justice system in Nigeria for no just cause, and these people can also bring an action against the federal government or any other person,
or they can sue
for malicious prosecution.
All right.
Having subjected to all this harrow experience for no just cause, for cooking evidence and all of that. That's the reason why the judge cannot be blamed for any reason at this moment.
And that is your own constituency, so I will not really blame you. Your Lord,
the judge can be blamed.
But that can be blamed. The judge
yes, because he has the right to invoke the golden rule of
This is where we're calling it a wrap up today's edition of This Morning on ITV. You need to see those children, they're malnourished. To me, that faith, whether it's faith or not, they're just talking about their own.